Let's do the weigh-in right here on the MMA Hour on this 3rd of December, 2018. And this is a real simple one. I got this question, and I'm sure anyone else in media got this question too, man. How many people got tweets or whatever, or emails, or just watching general discussion after that Wilder-Fury fight? And I know there's a lot of MMA, but I'm sorry. That was just the biggest contest over the weekend. How many people got hit up from fans asking legitimate question? Dude, like, is there any way to fix boxing as it relates to judging? And pardon me, is there anything we can really do about that? The answer is no. Nope. There's nothing you can do. Basically nothing. There might be a couple of small things, but the answer is no. I see this every time, and there's a terrible judgment that happens. Like, oh my God, what are we going to do? Or a referee does some kind of cockamamie thing, and oh, what are we going to do? And particularly as it relates to judging, the referee one, you can swap out personnel over time, which is true for judging too, but those problems sort of remain as consistent as time goes on. The answer is, here's what you can do. You can just learn to love boxing or MMA without having the need for appropriate judging validate your experience, right? So I tweeted a photo of the referee at the end holding both Wilder and Fury's hands up, right? And so they're both kind of there. I mean, Wilder had his belt and Fury had his other hand up. But the point being was that they were trying to, like, it was like, oh, split draw, bomb picture. And I tweeted, I was like, oh my God, I'm like so amazed by these two combatants, because they both put it out there. And folks were like, oh my God, this was the worst. I can't believe this. This is a terrible decision. Folks, we'll get to this later in the Monday Morning Analyst. Yeah, it was not a good decision. It was pretty bad, to be quite honest with you. But the reality is nothing is going to change. You need to find a way to enjoy combat sports without it being validated by getting the appropriate decision call every time. Otherwise, you are going to be consistently miserable. Understand the mechanics in play here. We gave the keys to the kingdom to the people that run the DMV. We gave the keys to the kingdom to the people that run the VA. Do you see what happened with the VA this past week? They couldn't pay out GI Bill benefits because they had an IT system that was 50 years old. You could say, what does the VA have to do with athletic commissions? The answer is they're all part of this vast, complicated government bureaucratic nightmare. They may not staff the same people or even have the same tasks, but they all are emblematic of this glacial inertia, essentially, that we're all kind of stuck with. We're just stuck with this. How on earth are you going to get judging to be different anytime soon? Particularly in the MMA side, because I saw a lot of people being like, oh, boxing effed it up again. Boxing really screwed it up. Yo, you know that's the same commission that will do all the MMA fights in that state. I had Andy Foster on my show last Monday to talk about Chuck Tito. The guy sounded worn out, and he knew he had Wilder Fury still to come. It's the same people. Maybe not the exact same judges or the exact same referees. It's the exact same sort of leadership group in place with the exact same motivations, the exact same tenureship, the exact same glacial pace to everything that affects all of it. It's all the same. You can make this about boxing. It's not about boxing. It's about athletic commission sanctioning. You think this sounds like an attack on athletic commissions, and it's not. It's just understanding what we have working with us. The reality is we have enshrined in law and entrusted government entities to control how bouts are made, to control who fights, to control the rules, to control some of the medical procedures around this, to control the licensing, to control virtually every aspect of this other than the promotion itself. And sometimes that's a really good idea. Like, for example, to avoid self-dealing, you do need someone to make sure the promoter is actually making competitive fights, to make sure that the promoter is not skirting the rules, that the fighters weigh in a way they're supposed to make sure that someone who fights deserves to have a license and has cleared some medical protocol to get there. They serve a valuable, important role in MMA and in boxing. But on the other side, when it comes to like punishment, why is the Khabib Nurmagomedov Dylan Dennis nonsense not resolved? Because you have a government agency, bureaucratic as it may be, trying to lurch its way through it. That's why. How are you going to change judging? You're going to have to find another system that's better somewhere else, and then you're going to have to slowly implement it. Who's going to pay for that? Who's going to experiment with that? Who's got the ideas for that? Nobody. If you're in mixed martial arts, what are you going to do? You're going to go state by state now? Zuffa has downsized. Remember all those people who got laid off when the new ownership group took over? Who's going to go state by state and do all of this? Nobody. Nobody is, there's no cavalry, folks. None. The reality is, I'm not telling you to love bad decisions or to not call a bad decision a bad decision. I'm not telling you to not like who you like or be upset that someone you like was mistreated. You had Tyson Fury saying, I think today, to BT Sport and to other people, I was robbed of the greatest comeback in boxing history. I'm not sure he's wrong. That might be true. And it's terrible. How are you going to fix that? It is not possible. It is not possible. Margins a little bit here or there. The UFC can do some self-regulation and experiment with some different attitudes overseas, as can other promoters. One championship, for example, has different rule sets. That's innovation. But MMA and boxing in all 50 states, and for boxing internationally, there's a lot of this. Even Japan doesn't regulate MMA, but they have their own boxing commission. That's why Tenshin Nasukawa can't be both a boxer and a kickboxer at the same time. You're stuck. You're stuck. This is what it is. And if your boycotts were really serious, well, then they might change things. But the promoters basically all make enough money and are able to recruit enough talent and stage enough shows that they don't have any reason to lobby the state commission to make any kinds of changes. So here is the reality. You got to be like Seneca. You got to be like Buddha. You got to just have a little stoicism about this in the face of disaster. You just have to say, in the words of our next guest, it is what it is, player. It's just going to be what it's going to be. And I know that sucks. It's a terrible way to start the weekend. I feel terrible for Tyson Fury. I'm a Deontay Wilder fan, and I mean that. But Tyson Fury got the raw end of the deal here, no doubt about it. But in terms of change, there is no change. In terms of offers, there is no offers. This is what it's going to be. Just find a way to enjoy it amidst the sadness. Yay! What a fun way to start fight week, huh? It's just true. You see me? I thought it was a bad decision. I didn't agree with it. Happy to see a rematch, of course. But I realize, what am I going to do? What are they going to do? It's not about what empowerment I have sitting in this chair to change things. It's just the reality of the situation. You handed over rules and judging and adjudication of disputes to a state agency. Welcome to that reality.